Blackhead prevention begins with a simple idea. Your skin usually responds better to patience than to force. Blackheads form when oil, dead skin cells, and everyday debris collect inside a pore, and the surface of that plug darkens after exposure to air. They are not a sign that someone is dirty, and they usually do not improve when the skin is scrubbed harshly. In many cases, rough treatment only leaves the skin more irritated, more reactive, and harder to manage. A calmer routine usually works better than an aggressive one. Wash the face gently in the morning, and again at night with a mild cleanser and lukewarm water. Avoid very hot water, rough brushes, harsh scrubs, and the temptation to attack the skin as if it were a stain that can be polished away. If makeup, sunscreen, sweat, or daily buildup is still on the skin at the end of the day, remove it properly before bed. Lightweight, water-based, or non-comedogenic products are often a better choice for skin that clogs easily, especially around the nose, chin, forehead, and jawline. Moisturizer still matters, even when skin feels oily, because skin that feels stripped and uncomfortable can become more reactive. If the skin tolerates it, ingredients such as salicylic acid may help loosen clogged material inside pores, and adapalene may help keep pores from becoming blocked over time. The important thing is to start slowly and stay steady, instead of trying too much too fast. Squeezing blackheads with fingernails or tools may feel productive for a moment, but it often leads to irritation, lingering marks, and a cycle of touching the face that creates more trouble than progress. Hair oils, pomades, and heavy styling products can also quietly contribute to clogged pores around the forehead and temples, so it helps to keep those products away from facial skin whenever possible. Pillowcases, hats, and phone screens do not need to become a source of anxiety, but keeping them reasonably clean supports a better environment for the skin. Prevention is not about perfection. It is about making pores less likely to clog, keeping the skin barrier calmer, and choosing a routine gentle enough to keep doing for months. And now, with that practical skin advice folded away neatly like a clean towel in a bathroom cabinet, let us move into the longer, warmer, and more cheerful part of the evening, where instead of cleansers, cotton pads, and magnifying mirrors, we find ourselves in a small American town full of casseroles, raffle baskets, cardigans, pie, folding chairs, and one retired gentleman who accidentally becomes the most entertaining man in 3 counties. In the town of Amber Grove, Illinois, 73-year-old Frank Holloway believed that peace and quiet were not luxuries, but achievement. Peace meant coffee before conversation. Peace meant a newspaper folded into exact sections. Peace meant knowing where the flashlight was, where the butter knife was, and why every screwdriver in the garage had a permanent address. Frank had retired from the town grain office 9 years earlier after spending most of his life checking invoices, answering telephones, and correcting the arithmetic of men who trusted optimism more than numbers. He liked routine. He liked labels. He liked chairs that did not wobble and clocks that did not lie. He lived alone in a tidy tan house with a narrow porch, a small backyard, and a garage so organized that visiting neighbors had been known to stand in the doorway and admire it the way people admire church windows. His wife, Nadine, had passed away 5 years earlier. Since then, he had built a life sturdy enough to carry silence. Up at 6, coffee at 6 to 10, paper at 6:15, breakfast at 7, a short walk if the weather behaved, lunch at noon, radio after lunch, supper at 5:30, dishes at 6, porch by 6:30, bed at 10. It was a respectable life, a calm life, a life with very little room for nonsense. That was the plan, anyway. The chief threat to Frank's carefully protected peace was his longtime neighbor and self-appointed director of community spirit, Dolores Price. Dolores was 71, energetic, organized, and so deeply committed to civic activity that some people suspected she had once tried to schedule sunlight. She wore bright sweaters, sensible flats, and reading glasses on a chain that gave her the look of a woman ready to alphabetize a bake sale if circumstances demanded it. She chaired the church social committee, co-ran the library fundraiser, supervised the holiday toy drive, and believed every person in Amber Grove possessed a hidden gift for public usefulness, especially the ones insisting they did not. On a windy Thursday afternoon in late October, Frank was sitting on his porch with a mug of coffee and half a slice of apple cake when Dolores came marching up the walkway, carrying a casserole dish and a thick manila folder. Frank took one look and said, "No." Dolores stopped at the steps. "I haven't said anything. You have a folder. I also have chicken casserole. That means the folder is serious. That means I came prepared." "For what?" "For your resistance." Frank leaned back in his chair. "Then at least one of us is realistic." Dolores came up the steps anyway, set the casserole on the porch table, and sat down without invitation, which was one of her more efficient habits. "The Harvest Star Supper has a problem," she said. Frank closed his eyes for one brief second. The Harvest Star Supper was the annual fall gathering at the church fellowship hall, an evening involving casseroles, raffle baskets, local music, pie, decorative leaves, and enough folding chairs to seat either a potluck crowd or a low-budget congressional hearing. "What sort of problem?" he asked. The MC canceled. "Why?" His daughter invited him to Peoria. "That sounds legitimate." He also said he was not really a microphone person. Frank nodded. "That sounds wise." Dolores ignored him. "So naturally, I thought of you. Why would you do that?" "Because you speak clearly, people trust you, and you are funny." Frank stared at her. "I am not funny. You are after 70, dry counts. I worked in grain billing. You spent 40 years explaining numbers to impatient men before sunrise. You can handle a room. That is not the same as wanting one. You do not need to entertain. Just welcome people, introduce the musicians, announce the raffle baskets, and keep the evening moving. That sounds like work in church shoes. That sounds like community. That sounds like trouble with pie." Dolores smiled. "You'll be good. I'll be reluctant. That is not a skill. It should be." She tapped the folder. "I may already have written your name in pencil." Frank looked at the casserole. "You volunteered me before I agreed?" "In pencil," she said. "I'm not reckless. No. Just efficient in a way that burdens the soul. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock. And if I refuse, I'll tell everyone you were intimidated by a microphone and decorative hay. Those are not equal threats. Together they make a convincing story." So that was how Frank Holloway, retired office man and protector of quiet evenings, became the emergency host of Amber Grove's Harvest Star Supper. For the next 24 hours, Frank prepared as if he were about to negotiate peace between rival pie provinces. He found his navy blazer, the one reserved for weddings, funerals, and restaurant dinners where the napkins arrived, folded into shapes. He polished his loafers. He wrote note cards. Then he rewrote them. Then he made backup note cards, in case the first set failed morally. On Friday morning, his daughter, Melissa, called from Kansas City. "Dad," Dolores told Mrs. Harlan. Mrs. Harlan told Aunt Joan, and Aunt Joan told me you're hosting the church event. Dolores should not have access to communications infrastructure. Melissa laughed. "You'll do fine. I have 7 note cards. That means you care. I have backup note cards. That means you are still exactly yourself. I also practiced pronouncing the banjo player's last name. That means you're prepared." He practiced that afternoon in the hallway mirror. "Good evening, everyone. and welcome to the Harvest Star Supper. Too stiff. Hello, friends and neighbors. Too cheerful. He looked like a man trying to sell bargain fertilizer. Thank you all for coming tonight. Too vague. Coming for what? Under what emotional arrangement? By the sixth attempt, he had introduced himself twice, thanked the umbrella stand, and nodded respectfully at the clock. At that point, he decided the house had suffered enough. Dolores arrived at 5:40 in a rust-colored sweater and earrings shaped like tiny leaves. "You look distinguished," she said. "You look procedural," Frank replied. "That's because I am. That's what worries me." The church hall was already full when they arrived. Long tables draped in orange and brown paper cloths filled the room. Mason jars with battery candles sat beside mini pumpkins and fake leaves. Raffle baskets gleamed under tight cellophane. Crock-pots lined the back wall beside casseroles, beans, cornbread, slaw, pies, cobblers, cakes, and 2 gelatin dishes Frank distrusted on visual principle. The air smelled like coffee, cinnamon, gravy, and determined community spirit. Retirees in cardigans sat near the front. Children in sweaters moved between chairs like small storms with shoelaces. Widowers in sport coats stood by the coffee urn discussing the weather as if they expected it to defend itself. Mrs. Talbot guarded the pie table with the composed vigilance of a museum curator protecting a priceless exhibit. Dolores handed Frank the microphone backstage. "Why is this so heavy?" he whispered. "Because it contains responsibility. It contains batteries and pressure." She patted his sleeve and vanished into volunteer traffic, which mostly involved brisk walking and paper. Frank stepped onto the stage. The room settled. He adjusted the microphone. It squealed sharply. Half the audience jumped. "Well," he said, "that certainly sped up introductions." The room laughed. "Interesting," he thought. He cleared his throat. "Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Amber Grove Harvest Star Supper, the only event in town where you can admire decorative pumpkins, win a raffle basket, and disagree privately about stuffing before dessert." The laughter came warm and immediate. "My name is Frank Holloway, and I'm your host tonight because the original MC apparently received a stronger competing offer involving family, travel, and a healthier relationship with microphones." Now the room was with him. Not wildly, not theatrically, but comfortably. He introduced the opening act, a local guitar and fiddle pair called Broken Creek, who played old-time songs with cheerful energy